Hello, students. I would be glad if all of you could switch on your cameras. We love to see your faces, your smiling, lovely faces. Yeah. All the Next Genius calls that we do, we would prefer that you switch on your cameras and be active, be live, listen to us, and engage with us. Yeah. So my name is Devesh Lati. I represent the Next Genius Foundation. This is a call where we have four extraordinary, fantastic scholars with us today. They were in your shoes last year. They went through the whole process, and at the end of it, they won incredible scholarships. And all four of them are in the US right now, just about finishing their first semesters. Yeah, I believe most of you would have your first sem exams. So thank you so much for taking time out, scholars, and joining us this morning and sharing your experience with all the Next Genius applicants. Yeah. So before we get going, I have a couple of quick updates. First of all, the three scholars here, all actually there are four scholars, but three of them are also involved in mentoring you and working with you and helping you, guiding you on your college applications, Abhilasha, Manan, Swaranya. So do engage with them. They are very resourceful. They are very helpful. Respond to their queries, respond to their messages on WhatsApp. Some of you would have received messages from them. So do respond to them and ask them questions. While they might take a little time to respond to your queries, so don't be in a rush and don't call them because they are in a different time zone, but put them messages on WhatsApp and they'll reply to you. There are two very important dates that you all must be aware of. Number one is January 1. Jan 1 is the deadline. January 1 is when you must submit all components of your college application to the college, which includes your Common App and other documents, which includes your transcripts, mark sheets, test scores, etc. Yeah, that's point number one. So it's your responsibility. While we are here to help you, but I cannot emphasize enough on this specific thing that it's your responsibility. You need to take accountability of making sure that everything reaches the college by Jan 1. Yeah. And everything will take time. Don't think that you are done after you're done with your Common App essay. That's just a small portion of it. There is a lot even after the Common App essay. Yeah. After submitting your Common App, we will send you a interview RSVP form, and the link of that has already been shared with you. I've made a video where I explain that form. We'll share that video with you today or tomorrow so that you can know what that form is all about. Interview RSVP form is where you submit your financial information, your transcripts, and your Common App PDF along with a 3 to 4 minute video talking about why are you interested in this specific college. And in that video, you need to talk specifically about what is it about the college that excites you. So that form itself will take you a lot of time to fill and submit. It's important to submit that form by Jan 1 because only those students who submit the form will be invited for the interviews. So please do not delay anything. It's December 20th today. There's 11 days left. I know you are all busy. There's so many things happening in life, but I don't want you to waste this opportunity. This is a tremendous opportunity to win a massive scholarship. So just try to manage your time and make sure that you submit everything in a timely manner. Yeah, sounds good. The second important date is January 18th. So first is Jan 1, submit everything, including Common App, all the other documents and interview RSVP form. Second date is January 18th, which is when we interview you, which is when the Next Genius group interview happens. Yeah. And in the coming days, in the first week of January, we will talk with you about how to do well in the interviews. Yeah. But uh, who can tell you better about the process and about the interview experience than someone who had participated in these interviews in the past? We have actually 4 or 5 scholars right now. I just got a message that uh, Advita is also here. So we have 5 of you here. Abhilasha, Swaranya, Sumit, Manan, and Advita. And I'll invite them one by one to share their experience with you. Uh, there's a question in chat whether the deadline of interview RSVP form is Jan 1 or Jan 5. It's Jan 5 actually. You can submit that form a little later, but don't wait until the last date. Yeah, that's what I would ask all of you to do. Yeah. Let's start off with you, Abhilasha. Uh, Abhilasha, maybe we can just start off by introducing yourself, and then I want you to share your experience and how you felt when you went through the whole process. What were the different things, and what were you going through? What was going on in your mind when you went through all these different stages? Over to you, Abhilasha. Rudra, we'll have to make them co-hosts so that they can unmute. Yeah. Okay, Abhilasha, now you'll be able to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Hi, good evening to everyone. I'm Abhilasha Talwar and I'm a freshman in Muhlenberg College in Pennsylvania. Um, so my journey with Next Genius started in the month of June or July when I applied for the scholarship. And I actually got to know about the scholarship by my counselor. So she was like, just apply. So I said, okay, fine, let's just apply. And I was very scared because I have a certain level of like benchmark, which I always need to fulfill. Like, I always need to be on the top. Like, that is something I've always had in mind. So I was like, okay, we are applying. I applied, and it was like initially it was just me, and a few other students in the Next Genius group. So I thought like, okay, like there are just like maybe just like 100 students, so that's like doable. Then, oh my God, people started joining the group. And I'm like, okay, fine, 200, 300. There are so many applicants. And I'm like getting more scared. I'm like, I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Um, but my counselor was like, don't worry about it. Just like, you will be allocated a college, so you will have a smaller group. So I was like, okay, fine. And when I joined so I was allocated to Muhlenberg College because I was like the best fit for this college. Like this college was the best fit. So and on the WhatsApp group, it was just me initially. So I was like, okay, like it's just me. So okay, fine. Then people started adding, and I got like scared again that, okay, there are many people applying to Muhlenberg through Next Genius, so it's really competitive. And then they're all from Mumbai and Kolkata and Delhi, and I am from a very small town in West Bengal. Like I don't even know these places where these people come from, and I always had this fear in mind because I was like, okay, I'm from a small town, and they are from like metropolitan cities like Bangalore and stuff, so they are like they have like more knowledge about things. But I kept going. I was like, no, I don't give up. Like, and you should not give up too. So then we had like a lot of like we had to record ourselves while talking about, as far as I remember, it was just like a social cause that we would like to work on. So I spoke about substance abuse, like how people use substances and get addicted to it and stuff. And one thing I always do is I add personal touch to everything, and that's what you should do as well. Like that's one of my advices. Like you should just like add examples from your life, because don't be afraid or like ashamed to, bring that up, because people actually appreciate it when you bring that up. Um, so that was the first video I recorded, and trust me, I took like 10 to 15 takes to record a single video. It was so scary because I was like, no, I need to be like perfect, because there are people who will, be better than me. I know that. So I submitted that, and like we don't get any responses. So I was like, I don't know how Next Genius people are going to review it. I don't know like if I was like speaking well, or everything. But then it just happened. um then was the interview. So I scheduled myself for like 2:30 a.m. Indian time, which was like, I don't know what time it was, actually like 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. in the US. And I scheduled myself, so I thought 5 p.m. would be Indian time, but it was actually Eastern time. And I woke up at like 1:30, and I am scared. I don't even want to like join the interview. I don't even want to attend it because I'm like so scared. So my counselor was Nicole, and she's so good. Like she's really nice. So I talked with her. Like I thought like I need to be really professional when it comes to stuff, but actually not. Like they don't want you to be professionals, and you just need to answer like what you think about it. There's not a certain criteria that you have to meet. You just need to be yourself and answer the questions. Um, so the questions, like Swaranya is gonna talk about the interview, so I won't get into like the depth of it. But yeah, like they ask you questions which are related to the college basically, but you need to be very personal and detailed about your answer. Um, so interview round went, and then I got to know from another counselor that they actually liked my interview. So I was like, okay, fine. Like they liked it. Um, and then time passed by. So I was also like juggling. So I'm juggling between high school and Next Genius application and my Common App, because I applied to other colleges as well, not just Muhlenberg. Um, and so I got done with everything by, I think, October or November the 1st. I was done with all my applications. I submitted everything before time, because that's something that helps you a lot, because you're in high school and you need time for your board exams or whatever exam you're taking. Um, and then January, I had my pre-mock exams going on at that point of time, and I was also like scared about like my interview, and we had like the group discussion thing. And I was scared because I was like, oh my God, like it's a debate. I don't know how to speak. I don't know how to like counter someone if someone says something. And then, and I did not even know what a group discussion meant, because I have never been a part of a group discussion. So I went on to YouTube. I watched like 10 to 15 videos about group discussion, because that's like everyone has YouTube. So you can just like go on YouTube, be like group discussion. Um, and I saw how to excel group discussions, how to stand out. And when I was in the group discussion session, um, initially, like I was very scared. I was very scared. I was like, I'm not even speaking. I don't know. I'm not getting the scholarship. I know that. But then when I joined, and when so the topic we got was something related to my field, so it was comparatively like easier for me. But the next topic was a bit tricky. It was like, do you want board exams or not? Like, should board exams be a part of a student's life or not? So I was like, I think I was like against it or something, because I did not want board exams. I was actually like burdened with college stuff. Um, so I talked about it, and always like I had personal touch, and like talk, engage with people. Like if there's someone who's not talking, they want to see you active. So just like ask them to talk. Like if say Swaranya is not talking, so I'll be like, hey Swaranya, like, what do you think about this? So that's how you stand out. That's how they see that you are willing to engage people in the conversation. Um, and trust me, after the interview, like after the group discussion, I was like, I think I'm getting the scholarship because I did pretty well. So I was not overconfident. I did not think that I'll get 100%, but I was like, okay, I can get like some scholarship, if not like 100%. And then finally it was 26th of January, and I was sitting with my father, and Muhlenberg shows up and my name. Oh my God, like I freaked out. My dad was like almost crying, and there was like a hustle and bustle in my house. Like people were running around, and they're like, oh my God, she got a full tuition scholarship. So, and I could not believe I started crying, and I'm like, oh my God, like because I had spoken to a Next Genius member like that very morning, and that person was like very, like it was rude sir basically. So he was very like calm. He was like, he behaved as if like he does not even know about it, and he's like, no, no, you've done well, like let's see. And then I got the scholarship, and then yeah, like it was a lot of fun after that. Like after that, like once I got the scholarship, um I accepted the scholarship. There are other things you need to do after that, but then it gets really easy. Um, so yeah, initially I was scared, but then, as time went by, things became easier because I started engaging with people from Muhlenberg. So that's another thing. Like if you have some seniors in college, take advantage, just talk to them about it because they are so, they'll give you like good advice. Also, like they have been in your shoes. So they will give you like good advice and not just something like, you know, just like saying it for the sake of saying it. Um, so yeah, that's how my journey was.
Fantastic. We could hear in your voice, and it seemed you relived your scholarship winning moment.
She did. Yeah.
Superb. Swaranya, let's talk about scholarships. Let's talk about the interview now. Uh, Tell us about the different sessions that happened during the interview, and talk with us a little more about what the interview process looked like for you. Yeah. So let's start off with your introduction and then talk about the interview process.
Hi, I'm Swaranya. I'm currently at Oberlin College, and let me tell you one thing. Abhilasha seemed extremely on top of everything. I was not this efficient. I did not finish applications in November. December was a whirlwind of work. There were like 50 to-do lists piled up, but it all worked out at some point. So I guess we all have different ways of getting there. And as to the interview, there were many different aspects to it. I remember one of the first things that happened was a conversation with someone who'd been a scholar at Next Genius previously. And that was more of an informal discussion, just like getting to know each other. Why am I applying? What am I thinking? What is my personality like? What are my character traits? So I think I don't know what the timeline is this year. If you've already had that discussion, that's great. You know what it's all about. If you've not had it, it's a very informal conversation. Everything does not hinge upon it. So use it as the first stepping stone to sort of like familiarize yourself with the process. After that, the college sessions, and I think Next Genius has one of the best college interview processes because like no one else that I knew who was applying got to know their admissions officers on such a personal level, and we got to speak on Zoom calls with our admissions officers. Like getting to speak directly to the admissions officer is not an opportunity everyone gets, and Next Genius gives you that opportunity to talk, show people how you speak, how you engage, how you are within a certain community, and we should all be taking advantage of that because that adds an entire new dimension to your application, because I'm guessing a lot of you are applying to other places, and for that you don't have this. You have an application, you have your essays, but you don't have this opportunity to actively engage and show you how you are in a community setting. So definitely use that to your advantage. For me, I was initially scared because I didn't know what the process would look like. But I think for all of you, don't worry about that because Next Genius hosts information sessions where they'll walk you through what it's going to be like. Then there'll be an introductory session with your admissions officers wherein you'll introduce yourselves. You'll go into breakout rooms specifically with the people applying to the college you've been assigned, and you will speak to each other a bit. There'll be icebreaker questions, so you'll all get like acclimatized to it. So don't even worry about like, oh, like first off, I have to like, first impression, last impression, all of that. Definitely do your best to come across as well as you can, but know that there'll be multiple sessions to make an impression. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Be as natural as possible. Get to know the community. Be empathetic, as Abhilasha said, engage with other people during these sessions. Because for a lot of the initial information sessions, they don't ask you questions, they don't ask you about the college, they just tell you, talk to each other. So you should be talking to each other, you should be asking meaningful questions, you should be showing that you care about being here and that you're going to be an active part of the community. After that, when it comes to the actual interview sessions, I think the process differs from college to college. My college didn't have debates. My college had one session wherein they like went in, they asked us questions in smaller breakout rooms. So like the entire lot of people who were applying to Oberlin, we were broken out into breakout rooms of 5 people each. Then the admissions officers circled through these breakout rooms, one admissions officer at a time, and asked a different question. The questions ranged from an obstacle you faced in your life, uh, in your family, what is your role? Um, why do you want to go to this college? Obviously. So, part of it is about character and personality, part of it is about your passion for the college. They'll also ask you if there's anything specific you want to study and why specifically at this college. So, definitely be informed about the college you're applying to, but also doubly sure that you're informed about yourself because that's something they're definitely going to focus on. Be authentic in these responses. The people who got into my college, there's 3 of us who are here now, and we're all friends, which is great. And we had a diverse range of responses. I think I'm someone who's more like, I'm passionate about this and like will use visual imagery and like, oh, and then there's this other guy who's also in my interview pool who is my friend now, and he was nonchalant, he was sarcastic at times. I was like, oh, is this how you're supposed to be? But then there's no specific way as to how to be, and both of us are here. So I think be authentic to who you are. Don't worry about how different people's personalities seem on the call and if you're supposed to fit into a certain type, because you're really not. They're not looking for that, and this is like proof. Also beyond this, we had another component which is more of like unique to our college, which was that they had this particular assignment and they said they gave us a list of people with certain job titles, and they were like, decide which of these 20 people, pick 5 who get to go to the moon, which is a random question. Like, why are you asking me this? And a lot of people made like specific spreadsheets, like, oh, which job makes you good fit for this and all of that. But ultimately, when we were discussing and we had to discuss this and they were listening to us, it wasn't about the information, it was more about, oh, if you made a spreadsheet, you're someone who likes to be organized. If you're someone who just freely went up and spoke, you're someone who's good at speaking impromptu. If you're someone who was talking a lot, okay, you like to dominate conversations. If you're not letting others speak, you like to dominate in a harmful way, that's not good. If you're facilitating others and like telling them to engage, you're a team player. So I think for a majority of the application, they're going to ask you about yourself, but they're also going to see if what you're saying about yourself is true, if you're actually displaying the skills that you claim to have. So definitely try to be authentic, definitely try to display all of that. And I will also say that during a lot of this entire process, I shouldn't be saying this here maybe, but I was doubtful. Like, I thought, is this really true? 100% scholarship? Is it possible? And I think also I was like, oh, I'm applying to so many other colleges. Next Senior seems to keep telling me, oh, there's this form to fill up and you need to record this video. I'm like, oh, is this too much effort? Is this really going to work out? And I was skeptical. But then people like Rudra sir told me like, no, keep submitting, send us the screenshots. And I did after a point. I was bad at communicating on WhatsApp, but I did it after a point. And I am here on 100% scholarship, tuition through Next Genius. The college also gave like, I don't have to pay for housing or food at all. All of that's free. The college also extended the opportunity to join this particular research program that I'm going to be doing over the winter, and it's going to extend to summer opportunities because that's something I spoke about during the interview. And also for the video that y'all need to record for the college, make sure to tell a story, because that's something I was like, how much effort should I put into this? And I was like, okay, it's fine. I'm applying. Let's put in maximum effort. And I made it really dramatic. I was like, I started with, oh, I love stories, and this is my story. And then I made like a Venn diagram of this is me, and this is Oberlin. This is why we're a perfect fit. It's dramatic, but then sometimes when you're trying to like come across differently in these interview processes, it's good to be dramatic. Focus on why you and the college are a good fit. Through the process, discover why you and the college are a good fit. That's going to help you when you're at that college to seek more opportunities. And also definitely take advantage of the fact that you're getting to know your admissions officers. Speak to them during the interviews. Feel free to email them. They love it when you email them. They love it when you engage. They love it when you ask questions about the college. Do all of that, and I promise I was someone who was skeptical, but it does work out, and it's going to work out for you all. All the best.
Superb. Thank you so much, Saranya. That was fantastic. I learned so much from your conversation. So, Manan, now over to you. What is so once before you share your experience, please introduce yourself and then talk about one tip you heard Swaranya and Abhilasha. So, what would be your tip to all these applicants for their interview process, for their interviews?
Okay, so I'm really excited. Okay, so hi everyone. I am Manan Mani. I am in Ethical College, CS major, and I was the Next Genius Scholar 2024. I got the full tuition scholarship, and the Next Genius experience was like a lot of engaging. Plus, I had learned a lot. Like I had never recorded videos of mine. I had never been to a part of a lot of group discussions. And first of all, like for the interviews also, I haven't prepared that much how Swanya's prepared, and I don't know how she prepared it a lot. But yeah, like it totally depends on you, how you do it, like how it feels comfortable to you. Like I remember my interview process was like on 18th of January. I remember that, and it it was a really important day for me. And that other than that, I had prepared a lot. Like yeah, it's really good. Like if you prepare a Venn diagram or like prepare an image in your mind, how are you connected to the college? That would really help. What I did is like noting up these points, small points. Why do I need this college? What I can do to this college? What I have done before? What uh, what are my achievements? What are my things which I'm lagging in? How can I focus on them? So these all things really help. And like this all would also help in your preparation of the interview, because like you would be given a random topic to talk about. We all were given like how that CBSE both should be the part of our life or not, as far as I remember. So yeah, like there were students who replied to yes, no. There were students who were staying neutral. So uh, this is because like the college and the engineers wants to know about you, not like what's your professional experience, how are you able to speak professionally. They wanted to know your thoughts. How are you able to like think about the random things? How are you able to think about the current affairs? These play a really important role. Like for me, preparation of the interview, like research about the random things, current affairs, played a really good part of it. Other than that, I had like I had read my essays before coming to the interview, because like what I have reflected in my essay was me only. So I have to reflect that in my interview also. I have to relate it with my essay. Other than that, the role of extracurriculars also play an important role. Like if you have mentioned that you were leadership, but you are not able to do anything in an interview which seems as you would like a good leader, or you were able to think about how leaders think. That's also good point which you should notice. Other than that, you should always have like kind of mock interviews if you would be given any topic. Like this helps a lot. If you are just go sit with your parents and talk about random current affairs and speak about your thoughts on it, this would really help you for the interview. Yeah, that were the all things that I decided and I did for that.
Superb. Thank you so much for sharing that, Manan. Let's move over to Sumit. Sumit, what would you like to share with us? So talk a little bit about yourself first. Introduce yourself, and then what is that one tip that you want to share with the this year's applicants?
Sure, there is. Hi guys, I'm Sumit. I currently go to Center College. I am a econ and data science major over here. Also, like I'm from Nepal, so like there's a lot of people from Nepal that I see over here. And like 2 years ago, when Next Genius like started their application from into like Nepal and Bangladesh, I was like, okay, damn, like this is a good opportunity to apply to. So like I did, and I fortunately like got into Center College through it, and like everything has been like good so far. Also, I won't go into a lot of details because like I think like Swarnia like has got into a lot of it like really good. You whoever like listen to it, make note of it. It's everything that you gotta know. But I would like highlight on some few points that I felt were like a key takeaways from the whole process. The first one was Next Genius gives you a very, very, very good opportunity to connect with the counselors, because one thing that sets this apart is you can tell, like, for me, I'm not a good writer. I'm not a person who can like express myself with all the visual cues, all the details about, if people reads my essay or like some creation, they won't inherently like know about okay what's going in his mind, but I am really good like explaining to people while I talk. And damn, and the opportunity to talk to the counselor on top of like just submitting my essay was like my opportunity to do build relationship, like personal relationship with the counselor, and letting them know that you know if you bet on me, I'll do good at your college. And that's one thing that you should like very, very much like think about going into interviews, or generally right now email them, and like be on top of asking them questions. Uh, you know like, you won't be don't consider that you'll be annoying. Like they like they love people who are wanting to like know about the college. Also like bring them some like weird facts from the from college website, because like they say like, wait, this is really deep into college website, how did you know? And that means like that shows that you have done good research. So that's one thing that's there. The other thing is like start early. Me personally, like I didn't start it as Abhilasha. I was in the same boat. I was Swarnika, Swarnia, sorry. Like I submitted kind of like in the late ish kind of thing. But also like next thing is make sure that you submit, because I used to like get regular messages, regular, okay, did you submit it? And it was like accountability partner, so I had to like, okay, they're taking a lot of they're taking their time to like text me, tell me about okay, what should I do, what should I not do, and that's like, I should like at least do something to make their time worth it. They're like not just saying me for the sake of saying me. So that accountability partner helps a lot while going through the application process. So don't just like ignore them. Definitely do it, and it will be a good thing too. The other thing is be outreaching, especially during meetings. I know like people are introverts, they don't want to talk, but I think this is a time where you kind of explore yourself and go out of your comfort zone, because it's always, and like it's a very cheesy and classy a cliche thing to say that, okay, like if you go out of your comfort zone you like excel, but like you actually do. I won't I wasn't I would say like I wasn't the best extrovert, like, or like outgoing person, but when I came on campus, you know, you find a lot of opportunities when you speak to people. You find a lot of nitty-gritty details when you speak to people. You know, even if you don't, I won't say like just change your personality for that, but do like pressure, like I mean, like keep in your mind, in your head running that, if I maybe like speak a bit, that will like somehow come through again. And maybe like suppose I'm speaking something about like environment, and the admission counselors, when I get accepted, he can just reach out to me. Oh, you mentioned about environment, and this is the opportunity that I found out, so why don't you apply? So like, you build that because they remember, and you build like a personal connection with them when you talk. So do make sure of that, because there were people in my group too, who didn't start the conversation. And during good group interviews, that's the one aspect that you should very much focus into. It's like you should be the person to start the conversation. um, I know it kind of sounds like bad, but like you have to be kind of competitive because it's a competitive process. uh, and if you want to like get it, you got to do everything, you got to play all the cards, so do that. Be outreaching, speak to the counselors, ask questions, engage with friends, like make friends first, then like go with a collaboration approach, because they want you to be um, a member of community, a leader, and a leader a leader takes everyone together. So like be that, and I think like you'll be good. Don't stress about it much. Just like be on top of everything that next genius is trying so hard for you to like do, and then you'll be good. Yeah, that's what that's it.
Fantastic. Thanks. Thank you so much, Sumit, for sharing that. The final speaker for the day is Advita. Advita, over to you. Please talk about your experience, and then yeah, we'll have about 5 minutes in the end for Q&A. Over to you, Advita.
Thanks, Devesh. Hi guys, my name is Advita and I'm currently double majoring in computer science and economics at Syracuse University. Sorry, I can't keep my camera on. I'm kind of outside against my will. So my experience with getting the full tuition scholarship at Syracuse was a really engaging one with Next Genius, because they have you involved at a very early stage. And like most of the others have said, I wasn't too involved in the process very early on. Like I remember I got in my application, I think in November of sorts, like somewhere around that time period. So when the interview process started, by then I had done a good deal of research about Syracuse University and the program that I was looking to apply to, generally things about the college that I wanted to talk about. And then I was also trying to look at specifics about the program. I was looking at videos of the school and I was getting myself to fall in love with the school so that I could really speak about it from a place of genuine passion and not from a manufactured sense of, oh, I want to go here, but not really. I think others have talked about that at some level. So if you go into those interviews with that level of confidence, and with that level of comfort with your chosen university or what you're looking for in a university, then you will be able to rise on top in these interviews. Specifically for the group interview, the group discussion stage, I feel like that was really the best opportunity for me to shine, because I was coming into this with experience in like a good deal of experience in MUN, which doesn't have to, which I felt helped me, but it wasn't the case for everyone. And honestly, you do not need any kind of public speaking experience to do well in this type of thing. As long as you know how to be a sociable person, and as long as you know how to carry a conversation with someone else at a basic level, then you'll be able to talk in the group interview session. What the strategy that I had adopted was, rather than taking one firm side, I was making points for and against both sides. And I was also considering, so if, for example, if someone else had said something that I thought was relevant, or if I wanted to address something that they had said, then I would say, as XYZ said, I agree with that, however. So then it shows the counselors, the admissions officers, right, that I had some critical thinking, that I was able to think critically about issues, and that I was also able to collaborate with my fellow applicants. So that's something that I strongly advise you guys do when you're in that stage of the process. And like others have mentioned, specifically Abhilasha, I think you had talked about having researched multiple videos beforehand just to be familiar with the process of a group presentation and a group discussion. That's also a really good idea if you're not too familiar with that entire process, because it can help you gain more confidence. So the entire interview process is a great opportunity, but one thing that could really help you to stand out is you send a thank you email afterwards to the counselors you spoke to, the admissions officers you spoke to, just to say, hey, thank you for the meeting that we had earlier today. I would appreciate if we could stay in touch in case I have any questions. Would it be okay if we had a follow-up meeting, just an informal thing? So then it shows that you really truly care about going to that college. So when it comes to the stage when they have to decide who they're giving scholarships to and what level, your name will pop up in their minds immediately. So that's a very important part of the interview process. And just overall, when you think about an interview, think about it as a very serious, oh my God, this is the end of the world. I think I might die if I don't do a good job. But it's not like that. It's not that serious. It's easier said in hindsight after everything has happened. I know it might be kind of daunting for you guys, but it's not too serious. The admissions officers also know you guys are just barely 17, 18-year-olds. They're not expecting the the level of an interview from a 20 plus experienced professional. They know that you have a certain level of life experience and you'll talk from that life experience, but they also know that you are intelligent enough and competent enough to be able to talk about a lot of issues. So try to strike that balance, and like the others have said, just be authentic to yourself. Don't try to pretend to be someone you're not. Be respectful, of course, but beyond being respectful towards others and the admissions officers, you don't have to put on a facade. So that's my advice.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Advita. And thanks to all the scholars once again. Thanks for taking time out from your busy mornings and sharing your words of wisdom with everyone. I'm sure everyone enjoyed this conversation. They learned a lot from it. We don't have time for a lot of questions, but maybe you can just put a couple of questions in the chat to me, and I'll try and take them. And as you type these questions, I have a couple of quick things. Number one is, last year's interview question, the group discussion question was, should board exams be banned or cancelled or something like that? Not all colleges follow the same question, but that was a question that most colleges followed. The year before, the question was something like, Chat GPT, a curse or a boon? The year before, the question was, should we um, sort of go to Mars or alleviate poverty? Yeah. So none of these require a lot of technical knowledge. If you look at it, these are not technical questions. This is just something that you think about and you present your own views. Yeah. This year's question is will be shared with you closer to the date, but there's no. So anyway, it'll be a fun question, that's for sure. Yeah. Okay. So it's 6:51 p.m. here right now, in India. There's 9 minutes to go, but before we close, one question is okay. mm, okay, so this is an interesting one. What would you do differently if you could go through the Next Genius application process again? And just take maybe 1 minute, whoever is answering, just take 1 minute to answer that. Who wants to take that? What would you do differently if you were going through the process again? Who wants to answer? Okay, yes, go ahead, Saranya.
I think like two things actually. One aspect is definitely gratitude, because I think the Next Genius, everyone at Next Genius is extremely involved in the process, pushes you every step of the way. Don't ignore their texts. Don't reply late like I sometimes did. Respond to them, because they're going to keep you on track. They're going to make sure that you're not overburdening yourself on like 31st December, you don't have 50 applications due. They're going to make sure you do things on time and you're less stressed out as a result. So definitely make sure you do that. Another aspect is during the interviews, don't stress too much. I remember there was one particular person in my group who was very on top of it, who was like the first to respond to every question. And because of this, I convinced myself for a long time that, oh, like this was the first person to respond. They're going to see who was on top of it. That is the only person who's getting the scholarship. That's not true. Listen when the admissions officers tell you how many people are going to get scholarships. Keep track of that. Know your place within the community. Speaking first is not the only skill a person can have. You, different people speak at different times. When you speak, make sure you're conveying what you want to say. And yeah, be grateful to Next Genius. I think that's the biggest part of it.
Superb. Thank you so much. Thanks, Saranya. Next question, I want Abhilasha you to take it because it's about time management. Since you were someone who were on the top of everything, you did everything in time. How did you manage so many things and submitted everything on time? So what was going in your mind, and what time management tips do you want to give to the students?
So I started working on my application in grade 11 itself. So I was way ahead of time. But I started working on my common application, like the essay, which took me 3 months to frame, like polish, and because I wanted it to be perfect. Um, but I would say, because you have a lot going on in grade 12, you are like preparing for board exams and everything. I would say just keep calm. That's the main thing. I was freaking out. I was like, okay, I need to do this in school because my school was very heavy on like uh, academics. We were not heavy on extracurricular activities. So I had to find extracurricular activities from outside of school. So it took me more efforts. But if you have extracurricular activities in school, it would be very easy for you. Um, Time management, I mean, it happens differently for everyone, but I would say just keep your head cool. Don't freak out the way I did, because that's going to just pressure you, and like it'll just add to the pressure, and then ये college है pressure को करने ही. Okay, so just keep cool, and time management happens.
Superb. Thank you so much for that advice. Before we close, I would like to hear one final word of advice from Advita and Manan. So whoever wants to go first, 1 minute each. Final advice.
I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind
Go
going
ahead.
ahead. So, you know what? Devesh, you put me up at a really difficult task because there's so much good advice that is out there, and I'm sure that the others are also thinking about right now. But uh, one thing I'd say is just always ensure that you maintain your connection to the school that you're applying for before and after you get the scholarship, because even January 26th comes, assuming that's the same, you guys are following the same timeline, you realize you won the scholarship. Don't just forget about the school until August rolls around. Stay in touch, watch videos. Like, for me personally, I remember seeing videos of Syracuse like again and again, and I at some point used to get so emotional and so excited about joining that I remember shedding tears. So of course that's one kind of reaction you can have, but my point is just stay very connected, stay in touch with admissions officers. It never hurts to remind them that you're still very excited about going there. Reach out to reach out to us as Next Genius Scholars, because we're ultimately here to help you. So if you want to stay in touch with the school and ensure that you're giving yourself the best chance to succeed, then that's always a good idea to use your network to uplift yourself. That's a very big lesson that you learn now. And leveraging your network is something you also have to do a lot in college. So it's always a very good idea to start doing that right now, and to just stay in touch with the college and overall stay grounded to that idea.
Thank you, Advita. And finally, closing with Manan.
Okay, so it's a big task right now. Okay, yeah. So the final advice which I can give you is like, okay, so try to form a small friend groups in your college, like in your group interview where you are interviewing with, because that would help you to have a good emotional support. If you have seen those faces earlier, you are able to talk in front of them, so you would be less nervous in front of them. And yeah, so you can express your thoughts freely. That would be the best thing that I could do. If yeah, there was one question, if I could do repeat the application process. So I would do this thing, and that's the best thing I can think of right now. Just make small friend groups if you are able to, and that's
Perfect. So that brings us to the end of the session. Thank you, Abhilasha, Manan, Swaranya, Advita, and Sumit for being here, for sharing your pearls of wisdom with everyone. The one piece of advice that I would like to give everyone is be here and now, which means be in the present. When you have 100 things to do, just do that one thing which you must do right now, earnestly and conscientiously. Focus on whatever it is that you must be doing right now, that one task. Finish that, then move to the next one. Finish that, and then move to the next one. So be here, be now, be in the present, live in the present. Stop worrying about what will happen in the future. Stop worrying about what happened in the past. Just focus on whatever it is that you should be doing at this particular moment. Like right now, you should be listening carefully to this conversation instead of focusing on 100 other things, scrolling on Instagram or whatever it is that you are doing. Be here, be present, and act on those things and try to complete your tasks, and keep on moving forward with that attitude. Yeah. Do one thing at a time. Multitasking is a myth. Do one thing at a time. Yeah, with that, we come to an end of the session. I hope you found this helpful. Thank you, everyone. Thanks to all the students and all the scholars for joining this call. 7 p.m. Friday evening for us, Friday morning for all the scholars. Have a great evening, everyone. Have a great day, scholars. Thank you. Bye.
bye everyone.
Thank you so much for
Bye guys, thanks, all the best.